You know what I was thinking? Can this Cincinnati Bengals team go from rare to rah? You know what? It's time to check into Fantasy Football Friendly. Let's find out. Let's go.
Holy shit.
What's good, Pirates and Pirates? Welcome aboard the pirate ship here on the Rum Boys Fantasy Network. Make sure you guys like this video. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you are new to the channel. Join our community. Comment. Leave me your thoughts. Let me know what you think about this Cincinnati Bengals breakdown. This is Fantasy Football Friendly. It is Modelo time here in beautiful Colorado. It's sunny as hell outside. I had to close the blinds here. Gotta love that sound. Cheers to me. Cheers to you, all the Rum Boys and girls. What it do? Dilly dilly. I always twist my beer cap. Like I just feel like we used to play this game back in the military called Buffalo, and you always twist it. We're gonna start that game in Canton. I'm gonna have to break that down on Twitter. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into it really quick. If you don't know, you already know, I'm sure. But this is brought to you by monkeyknifefight.com. Ladies and gentlemen, get on over to monkeyknifefight.com. Promo code RUMBOYS. We are matching deposits over there all the way up to $100 on your very first deposit. You might as well go ahead and get that value. If you put in a hundo, we're going to match you with that extra hundo. So you already know what it is. monkeyknifefight.com. Promo code RUMBOYS. You can download the app if you want to, or you can even just play right through the site, hit that sign up and play button, and you are in for daily fantasy prop action. Go ahead, get on over there. We got more or less rapid fire, just a little quick breakdown of how that works for you guys. You see that Brady Breeze example. We've hit on those NFL props super high. Make sure you get over on monkeyknifefight.com if you have not already. Once again, promo code RUMBOYS. We're matching your very first deposit all the way up to $100. It was $50. We're getting a little better of a deal now from the homies because they're eating good. So now we're gonna help you guys eat good. monkeyknifefight.com. Promo code RUMBOYS. Monkey Knife Fight. And I mean, as you guys see the hat, so you already know what I'm about to bring up. Got to shout out SportsMe. Download the SportsMe app. You guys can go to sportsme.com on your phone, or just go right into your app store. Download the SportsMe app. Start making content with some of your favorite athletes, some of your favorite creators within the click of a button. 30-second takes. We're debating over there. Who knows? You may even get the opportunity to piss off one Ryan Hollins. It's available on iOS and Google Play. Hottest sports commentary on demand right there at your fingertips. You can also ask me fantasy football questions. Ask some of your favorite analysts fantasy football questions over on the SportsMe app. Look, check out some of these faces like Andrew Wiley, Ryan Hollins, Vinny Del Negro has hopped on. So many different faces that you guys may recognize. Hop on Christian Crosby. Hop on the SportsMe app. Debate it up with some athletes, some analysts. The app is growing. Let's keep it moving. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get into what you all are here for. Like I said, this is a Cincinnati Bengals breakdown, but we got to pay the bills, keep the lights on up in this thing. And we begin today's breakdown with the homie Joe Burrow. All right, we're going to start with the quarterback position first, honestly, for obvious reasons. Because, well, a lot of you guys are playing in Superflex. You're going to go for a QB right away. This Joe Burrow is unique because you're not drafting him in that range where you're drafting like Mahomes and so on and so forth. You can kind of get him around where, Tom Brady and Tannehill and those types of guys are. Recently in a mock draft that I had did yesterday with for whom Jay Bell tolls. We had Nate from In Between Media, the homie Corey Sprala, Jordan Jorge Martin up in there, Eagle Dan. We had a really great mock draft yesterday. If you guys were able to check that out on YouTube and on Twitter, definitely recommend it. But Joe Burrow, he didn't go in single QB. I don't even think that he was drafted until late. Like, hang on. Burrow went 8.3. So yeah, and he went to the boys 222. Joe Burrow 8.3 in single QB formats. Not bad. I can definitely take that value. I can work with that. Let's see where he went. And I just want to see really quick where he went in the Cash Cup. I know I had a shot at him, but I ended up passing, and I went Stafford and Brady as my guys. So he went 310 in the Rum Boys Cash Cup, a cash league that we got going on, $25 buy-in. Burrow, you're worrying about the injury. You're worrying if he's going to be able to come back and heal correctly, right? I mean, he only played 10 games last year, and he was 2-7-1 during that. 404 attempts, 264 completions, completed 65.3% of his passes. Through 5 picks, 13 TDs. Look, if we get a full season of Joe Burrow, 2,688 yards. If we get a full season of Joe Burrow in that Zach Taylor offense with the receivers that he has in Higgins, Chase, Boyd, we'll get into those guys in a minute, player by player. If Burrow has a full season to sling the rock, 17 games, those receivers are going to eat. Burrow's numbers are going to heavily inflate. We're talking about a 4,000, 5,000 passing yard type of guy. I mean, 404 attempts through 10 games. That is insane. That is crazy wear and tear on the kid's arm. I like Joe Burrow heading into 2021. 173.7 fantasy points, like all like through 10 games. Like I said, that's definitely going to go up. I'm confident that he's recovered. I know that we all see the picture of Burrow sitting on the throne, and we see the scar on his knee. Hey, look, I got a scar on my knee. Okay, like you can't really see it, but that's fine. Like, but he's recovered. He's recovered from surgery. He's going to be back. It's going to be great. It's going to be great times up in Cincinnati. Joe Burrow, I definitely feel it's more fantasy friendly than not. You're really just worrying about the injury bounce back there. Now we're gonna really quick. I'm gonna touch on Joe Mixon, okay, and his 78.6 fantasy point ass last year. All right, and I know people are the Joe Mixon truthers are gonna come for my head. And honestly, like, when don't you guys? Especially on Twitter, you guys definitely let me have it. So we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna break down your guy really quick. Like I said, 78.6 fantasy points, 428 yards on 119 touches. He only played 6 games. Look, guys, I've never been a Joe Mixon truther. I get, 18 and 19, he had those 1,000-yard rushing seasons. But he's never been on a fantasy football roster for me personally that I have to go on to the championship. Anytime I've ever drafted Joe Mixon, here's exactly what you do with Joe Mixon. I've said this on multiple podcasts, okay? You trade that you trade his ass away soon as possible. You draft him. A lot of y'all are going to be out. live drafting. You're going to be at, Buffalo Wild Wings. You're going to be at Draft Night Out, Canton, Ohio, baby. DraftNightOut.com. Go get your tickets. You're going to be at Draft Night Out. We're going to be hosting. It's going to be crazy. And you already know off of what I've told you in the past that with Joe Mixon, you trade him to either A, the Joe Mixon truther, or B, the person that goes 0 RB, and you take something else worth of value from them, to also kind of, weaken their team. Because Mixon may not play, probably, depending on health and everything like that. There's a chance that he doesn't do the full season. There's a chance that he may not be efficient. There's a chance that they don't run the ball as often because you got all these talented ass receivers that we're about to talk about that are just going to hog all of the touches. They're just going to hog all of the targets. What I've always traditionally done, I trade Mixon. I get some other, value pieces, some other stronger, worthy pieces. I get, 2018, he had an 8 freaking touchdown season. It's just I guess for me, it's mainly the fact that it's the Bengals that we're talking about. It's the Bengals. We can't even, this team is going to be a lot better. So I don't even think we can keep calling the Bengals. Like, you can't just keep calling the Bengals the Bengals, like, at this point, because the team is improved on paper. Now, whether or not that'll convert into wins, we're still to find out. This team is super young. But yeah, out on Mixon, trade him away. Go find the guy in your league. It's like, yo, you thirsty? You want to grab a beer? Let me talk to you about something. Also, in 18 and 19, they didn't have a quarterback. That was freaking Andy Dalton that was quarterback. Like, of course you're going to be running the ball. Like, AJ Green was hurt, during that time frame. Like, come on, like yes, like Joe Mixon was all that you pretty much had in 18 and 19. 2020, you had Joe Burrow, significantly better. You threw the ball a lot more. No, I'm out on Mixon. I'm out on Mixon. We're not doing the Mixon thing. Let's get into these wide receivers, guys. And first things first, rest in peace, up the field. For real. All right, sorry. But really quick, shout out to J. Cole right there. My ADD just I kind of kicked in. Have some beer. All right, so we're going to now get into Jamar Chase. Now, you guys know from the NFL draft, I freaking love Jamar Chase. I was super high on Chase. Hands down, to me, was the number one guy that needed to be drafted at the wide receiver position and needed to come off the boards come draft night. You reunite him and Joe Burrow. Reunited, and it feels so good. And that has got to be a great feeling for Joey B. It's got to be a great feeling for Zach Taylor. And that's got to be a great feeling for fantasy managers. He took the 2020 season off, COVID, yada, 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 preparing for the draft, so on and so forth. He's healthy. He's well rested up. He was definitely working out during that time period. Let's take a look at his 2019 sophomore year, okay? 84 receptions, 1,780 yards. Like, I love that. Like, I love that. Like 20 now, he's not gonna freaking get 20 TDs. Like, he's not gonna fucking get 20 TDs. Like that's not, of course, gonna happen. But we already know that Burrow loves him. Okay. We already know that Burrow's super high on him. We know that this team purposely. I mean, they missed out on Penei Sewell to shore up through the line, and they were just like, you know what, fuck it. Like, we're just gonna, probably line you up in shotgun, and you're gonna drop back, and you're just gonna chuck the rock in the air because now we got you, Jamar Chase. We got you. We got you, your guy from college, from your LSU days. Do I think that Chase is probably going to be the flat out wide receiver one? I think that we have to take into account one T. Higgins and how well he played. You got two very, 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 very talented receivers in Higgins and Chase. If you're going to sling the rock 600 times a year, maybe, just maybe, this team can actually post up both of these guys with, not like with 1,000-yard seasons, maybe. I mean, and maybe it's Tyler Boyd who ends up taking the hit. It's yet to be seen. We're going to see, come preseason, how things work between, if there's a connection between Burrow and Higgins continue. That's what I want to know. Does the connection between Burrow and Higgins still continue? And I think that can be possible. I think that there is a fantasy football world. There is a fantasy universe. Hang on. Waves. Back on that. There is a fantasy football universe that Higgins can still be a one and still be the dominant one. There is because they already have rapport, and because defenses and defensive coordinators are probably going to say, you know what, let's hurry up and key in on Chase because we know, based off of the draft, they're going to try to force feed him. But there's also nothing that solidifies that either. How do you key in on, two guys that are fast as fuck, fast as fuck. And the question is, I mean, you're probably going to be able to shut down one, but you're not going to be able to shut down, all three of these guys. This is a solid wide receiver core. I think Chase is going to put up hell of fantasy points. I don't. Could he have like a Justin Jefferson like type year? Like if you're looking for like that rookie breakout like wide receiver, like absolutely, like he could. He's a first overall pick, like, and he's back with this like old quarterback. Like, we could see some inflated shit, some inflated numbers, especially if 404, throughout the course of 10 games. That's just gonna go up to like 600 attempts over the course of the year. So I'm loving it. I like it. I love it. I want more of it. I am with the Jamar Chase hype. Let's get into T. Higgins, Mr. 127.6 fantasy points. Higgins, really quick. Let me see where Higgins went. I'm gonna go to this actual draft instead of referencing a single QB. I'm gonna reference and like I'll reference single QB as well. All right, so with Higgins, both actually Higgins and Chase, you could get like they're fairly close. Like they're actually not far apart from each other. In terms of ADP. Like I said, I'm willing to take a gamble on both. I'm even willing to probably roster, in deeper leagues, Tyler Boyd. Where did Higgins go? Because I want to be able to give you guys some context here. 1 second. So, not Higgins. Okay, so Higgins went 7-8 and Chase 7-7. So, like I said, back to back, and that's in Superflex. That's in Superflex. So if you miss out on one, you can easily snag the other. It's not it's not the end of the world. Boyd went 9-9. Not a bad fill-in guy on bye weeks. If you're missing out on a player, not that's your wide receiver 3 or your flex play. I have no problems drafting any of these Bengals wide receivers. These Bengals. I'm sorry, we're gonna start putting some respect on these Bengals name. Why? Because it's just the proper thing to do. It's just the proper thing to do. Higgins went 6-10 in single QB. I'm willing to take that on Higgins. I'm willing to take that on Higgins any given day with Chase. With Chase going, I have no idea what just happened. My phone just started like randomly playing something. With Chase going 5-4, I would love that. Chase going 5-4. I'll take Higgins going 6-10. I'll take, in single QB. Let's see here. Going with Boyd 9-5. I'll still take that. So Boyd is pretty much both across the board in Superflex and soon to be he's pretty much ninth round value, just like all over the place. So I'm willing to take that in the ninth round. I'm willing to take that ninth round. And it looks like Boyd always falls to whoever's sitting at the. Looks like he always falls, in that 8 through 12 range, or that 9 through 12 range. It looks like that's where about Boyd is always falling. So that's about where you guys get him if you want to just kind of gauge that. Higgins wasn't bad last year. Hang on, let me get y'all his stats. Uno minuto. Higgins was not bad last year. 908 yards on 67 receptions. That catch percentage, that 62%. I'd like to see him, get more catches. I mean, 108 targets. That's clearly why they brought in Jamar Chase. That's clearly why they had to draft Jamar Chase. Like, you can't be dropping, you can't be dropping almost like half your ball, son. Like, pause. That just can't happen. 108 targets, 67 catches. I mean, you still come away with 908 yards, and that's still beautiful. And Higgins has a lot of great breakout plays. Get some pretty decent yak. 13.6. We need more out of you, Higgins. We need you to be sure-handed, and that's really the splitting the hairs between Chase and Higgins right there. Getting into Tyler Boyd, Mr. 113.6 fantasy points last year. He had 79 receptions for 841 yards. Caught the ball a little bit more, but it was 110 targets on 79 receptions. So kind of almost around that same neighborhood that we were talking about with Higgins, right? So around the same neighborhood of targets. Boyd was more sure-handed. So now we can even now make a narrative for Boyd. Could Boyd come in and maybe be more so the two? And does Higgins take the back seat? And maybe Higgins is the 841 yard type of guy, and Boyd could maybe become a 1K type of reception guy, along with possibly if they're going to sling the rock 600 or 600 times along with Chase. Maybe Chase hits like somewhere around 1,300. Boyd just hits, right fresh under 1K, or like maybe he just like hits like 102 or some shit like that. Some crazy astronomical shit like that. I could see that happening in this Bengals offense, in this Zach Taylor coach led team. Dude, I mean 71.8%. Like that's not bad. Like that's really, really, really not bad. Just do a little bit more with the rock. We see that 10.6. Yard for yard received. But dude, I like that. I like seeing his sure hands. We'll get into the tight ends really fast. Not a whole lot to cover with the tight ends. It's freaking Uzma and Sample, right? And you're like, in terms of Fantasy Pros ADP, if we were to go off Fantasy Pros ADP, you got tight end 44 and tight end 45. Like, neither of these guys are drafted. Let's just be honest. Like, Uzma housed freaking 14.7 fantasy points. Like, in his whole career, he's played as many games. He's played in 16. Never mind. I apologize. But he's just not the guy. Like, he's just not a guy. I'm sorry. I'm not drafting Uzma anywhere. I think that honestly, Drew Sample might even be better than him. I mean, he damn near fucking had 40 fantasy points, over the course of your 38.9 to be exact. And was a better tight end choice for Burrow, like, more times than not. 349, yards on 40 receptions on 53 targets, caught 75% of the balls thrown his way. I mean, so yeah, if you're looking for a waiver wire tight end, I have no problems, throwing in sample, like sprinkling a little sample. You guys know that we had talked about Drew Sample a little bit last year, and we were riding that wave, and then we were like, all right, now go ahead and drop him. So we could probably get you a couple games, maybe make it on a fantasy team or two out there. But I'm not wild over this guy. Like I'm not wild over Sample. I mean, maybe he breaks out. I mean, he has that third year tight end breakout. But I don't see it for Drew Sample. I don't think this team is going to go to the tight end a whole hell of a lot. Personally, I think that it's going to be the wide receiver show. Like when you have those three receivers, like do you need to run the ball as much? How good is your O line going to be this year? Is your O line going to be able to buy Burrow time, or just going to be burned down the field and toss up in the air and just hope for the best? So we'll see. I think this team, from the quarterback situation and the wide receivers, super fantasy football friendly. If I have to give them a letter grade, we're probably gonna go C plus, just because the tight end situation isn't great. And it's just mixing pretty much back there, like, and I just don't like I don't like Joe Mixon, and there's some bias probably towards that, but hell yeah. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Fantasy Football Friendly, where I break down each and every team as to how fantasy football friendly I feel that they are. Uh, cheers to me. Cheers to you. All the wrong boys and girls, what it do. Dilly dilly. I think that this Bengals team has improved. Let's go. Cheers. Subscribe.